Hey everybody, my name's Mr. Abbie with Star Universe, and today we're going to talk about how to play harmonics on the guitar, alright? So the melody that I was just playing on the guitar, this little part right here, that little part I'm playing with harmonics, and you're going to be surprised at how easy harmonics are to play, because normally when we play notes on the guitar we might play an open string like the low E string, right? We might play a chord like I did at that end of that little melody that I was playing. We might play a chord like that. So that's when we're pushing down and we're fretting notes on the guitar neck, right? But when we play harmonics, what we're doing is we are lightly touching the string in certain places so that it will play certain notes, and as you can tell, they kind of sound like chimey bells. They sound like wind chimes, right? So that's a little chord that you can play with harmonics, and I played that right before I ended that part right there, right? So this is actually a D major triad because it has all the notes that are in a D major triad, but they're contained in those little harmonics. So it's pretty cool. So let's talk about where these harmonics are and how we play them on the guitar, okay? So every string has these harmonics on certain places on the string, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So the low E string has it, the A string has it, the D string has it, the G string, the B string, and the high E string all have these harmonics on there. In fact, any string is going to have the ability to produce these harmonics. So where are these magical bell-like sounding harmonics? They sound like chimes, right? And where can we find them? So the most common places, there's more than a few places, but the most common places are three that we're going to talk about right now, okay? So on every string, they're located in the same place, and the easiest one to start with to find is right here at the 12th fret of the guitar, okay? On the 12th fret of the guitar, you're going to be able to, and we'll talk about how to play these in just a moment, but you're going to be able to play that little bell-like chimey sound, and that sounds very similar to the open string of the guitar, right? Let's listen to it one more time. So I'm playing the open string harmonic right here at the 12th fret, and you can always find the 12th fret on guitars because almost always it has two of those little inlays right there, two little dots and fret markers, so you know that you're in the right spot, okay? So let's play that harmonic at the 12th fret again. Wow, that's pretty, right? And then let's play the open string. It's the same note, it's just up an octave, right? There's the low E string, but then there's that note right there. So if I were to play a note that was an octave above the low E string, which is always going to be right here at the 12th fret, oh, it sounds very similar, right? It sounds very similar to that harmonic that we were just listening to, except the texture is a little bit different. It sounds a little clearer, and it kind of sounds like somebody just struck a bell, right? So that's one spot, the 12th fret, very important spot. The next place on the neck where it's really easy to make a harmonic is right here on the 7th fret. So at the 7th fret, let's listen to that one. Wow, that's a different sound, right? Sounds different than this. It's a different note, right? Let's see if we can find out what that note is. So the notes at the 7th fret are the same notes that we also fret at that fret. So this one is a B. We play B right here at the 7th fret on the low E string. And then let's listen to that note. Sounds like the same note, but higher, right? So let's see. So this is the same note right here on the D string on the 9th fret. And that's an octave above this note. Sounds like the same note, right? Very similar. So that note right there is an octave above this note. So an easy rule of thumb to remember if you know your notes on the guitar is that right here at the 12th fret, you're going to get the same note on the harmonic. Remember? Open E string. That pretty bell-like sound. Then we'll go right over here to the 7th fret. We'll play that one. And that one is a B. And so if we were to play a chord, an E major chord, like we ended our little song with at the top, if we were to play an E major chord, then this note B is one of the notes in that chord. So we're actually playing a couple of notes already that are in an E major chord. E right there, B. So really pretty sound. Let's see what's at the 5th fret. That's the next place. Like I said, there are some other places where we can play harmonics on an open string, but these are the easiest ones, okay? So here's the 5th fret right here. You can always tell the 5th fret. Most guitars start with that marking, that the inlay or the dot right there on the 3rd. So when I see that second dot right there, I know that's the 5th fret. And we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there, okay? So let's listen to this one. Wow, that's a kind of a high sound, right? But it sounds very similar to that note right there, except just a lot higher, right? Maybe even 2 octaves higher. So it's kind of like 2 floors up, right? That's the way that I think about notes that are the same, but they're higher or lower. Might be on a lower floor, might be on a higher floor, right? So this note right here at the 5th fret is also the same note as the open string. Now how do we play these really pretty sounding bell-like harmonics? It's so easy. That's the exciting part, is how to play these are super easy. It's actually easier than playing a fretted note on the guitar. So if I were to pinch down right here, I have to pinch down and use a little bit of effort. Not much, but a little bit of effort if I want to play a fretted note, maybe at the 12th or the 7th or the 5th fret. But see, my finger's in the same place that it was when I was playing those really pretty bell-like sounds. So where did those go? Well, the way that you play a harmonic on an open string is by you're just barely touching the string in a certain place so that it will make that sound, and it's so easy to find on the guitar, okay? So the way to do that is you're going to take whichever finger you're feeling confident with. It doesn't have to be particularly strong, just a finger that you feel like you can just rest very lightly. In fact, if I want to, I could play those same harmonics right here with my finger, and I won't even be pressing down, right? So let's see if I can play them like this. Whoops, let's play the correct string. There we go. There it is, right? 12th fret harmonic, 7th fret. Not even pushing down, right? So you can see just by the way that I'm lightly touching the string right at certain spots. It takes absolutely really no effort at all. Now I have a pick over here in my right hand, but if you don't have a pick, that's okay too, because I can still make those sounds with my thumb, all right? I hear it again, right? That pretty sound. So nice, right? So if you don't have a pick, don't worry. It's a little bit easier to make that sound if you have a pick, but if not, we just did it with our thumbs. It's pretty easy. And you can see that all I'm doing is just resting my finger right there. Now, the way that you rest your finger, you certainly don't have to come on this from this direction from behind the guitar. If that's easier for you to start, then go ahead and start that way. That's fine. But if you're comfortable bringing your hand around this way, then I'll turn the guitar around so we can see. But the way that I'm touching the string right there at the fret, I'm touching it right on top of the fret. I think you can see pretty well there. My finger's right on top of the fret. If I were to play it, let's see if I can get the right angle here. I'll scoot up a little bit. And we'll see if I can turn the guitar over a little bit and play it. You can see my finger, whoops. All right, here we go. So here's my finger right here at the 7th fret. There's that bell-like sound. Here's at the 5th fret. There it is again, right? My finger's just barely touching right there at the 12th fret. So really no effort at all except with my right hand to pluck the string. So we do have to pluck it, but as far as the left hand is concerned, it's a very easy job for the left hand, right? And so like I said, all the strings have these notes on them, and like we said just a moment ago, we can know what those notes are because right here at the 12th fret, it's the same note, just in a different octave. Here at the 5th fret, remember, it's the same note again. And then, remember at the 7th fret, that was a different note. But remember, you can tell what that note is because you can play that same note right there. That harmonic is kind of unique in that it plays the same note in the same location that it is, okay? So if we're playing a B right here on the 7th fret, then when we play on the harmonic, and remember when we play harmonics, it's a little bit different. I know we've talked about fretting notes on the guitar. So remember when we fret a note on the guitar, if we fret a note at the 7th fret, then I'm going to pinch down right there. And you can see my fingers pinch down, pressing down. But if I'm going to play that same B note, that's a harmonic, that's an octave higher, I'm just going to lightly rest my finger right there above the fret. Lightly rest my finger right there above the fret, and then I play it just like that. So if I rest my finger in the same place that I pinch down and I try to play harmonic there, let's see what it sounds like. Not that clear bell-like tone, right? It's an interesting sound, but it's not the bell-like tone that we're after. So nothing wrong with that other sound. It's just not the one that we're trying to produce right now. And you might find, if you explore, you might find a cool place to put that into a song. And you could make a little percussive melody with it. But if we're going to if we're going to play that harmonic right there at the 7th fret, then all we have to do is rest our finger. And so the easiest way to get comfortable with this is you can just rest your finger right here on in the 1st fret area. Then take your hand and you can play all of the harmonics as you glide your finger down the string very lightly. Still have to have a very light touch because the string needs a little bit of room to vibrate to make that sound. But let's play and let's listen. You're going to hear lots of different notes, especially through this area. So be paying really close attention when you see my finger going through here, because there's all these little high notes right up in here, and they're on every single string. It's so much fun. So let's do that really quick. I'm hearing some different notes now, right? Are you hearing those? There's that spot. Lots of different notes right there. There's a new note right there. Wow. And then there we are. And then there, if we keep going, there's even some more notes down here. I'm just using my thumb right now, but really try to explore all over the string, but you're going to be most comfortable finding a bunch of them right here before you get to the 12th fret. But like I said, they're all over the strings, okay? So if you notice when I said we got to this area right here, there were lots of notes right there, and we can actually play a chord with the notes that are the harmonics right here on this string, and we could do that on 3 of these strings. So we could play a 1 chord and a 4 chord and a 5 chord. So we could play, let's see, we could play just like probably in the key of A, right? So that's the 1 chord, and then the 4 chord, and then the 5 chord. So we can play the notes to those chords right here, and they're going to sound really high, so you have to listen really close. But I'll play, let's see, I'll go through the same chords that I just did. I'm going to start on the A string, so this is a new string to play some harmonics on, but remember, it's going to be the same right here at the 12th, playing the A string now. That's the 2nd string from the top, A string, 7th fret, 5th fret right there, pretty cool, right? 12th fret again, 7th fret, 5th fret, and then let's start and let's play these little notes. Now, the last note takes a little bit of practice to find it, and it's kind of a high note, but we'll start right here on the A string, so we'll play right there, a pretty bell-like sound, A, and then that's the 3rd above it, C sharp, and then that next note that we're waiting to hear is, can you hear that? There we go, and it takes a little bit of practice because that one is not on a fret. It's just a little bit past the 3rd fret. So 1, 2, there's the 3rd fret. That harmonic is just a little bit past. So you can see the fret right there behind my finger. It's a little bit past that 3rd fret. So we can play the notes to a major chord, to an A major chord. And then a D major chord. And then an E major chord. Right? So another fun thing that you could do with harmonics, and we haven't even covered all the fun things that we can do with harmonics, but one of the other fun things that you can do is there's a scale that I teach a lot of my new guitar players, and it's a G major scale, okay? And you can add in a note, since we know that if we play this note right here at the 5th fret, if we play that note at the 5th fret, that's going to be the same thing as the note D in the G major scale, right? So I'm going to play the G major scale, but also add in some harmonic notes. So let's see what that sounds like, okay? So when we substitute some harmonics for some of the notes in the G major scale, I'm going to play certain notes that are fretted, but then when I get to the note D, I'm going to play the harmonic right here at the 5th fret. Remember those notes, the harmonic notes at the 5th fret, are the same as the string, except higher. And then I'm also, when I get to the note G at the end of the scale, I'm going to play the harmonic right there at the 5th fret, which is also G, but an octave higher, a couple of octaves higher than the string, right? Right there. So what we'll do is I'll start and then play the harmonic on the D string and the harmonic on the G string, and then we'll go back the same way that we came. So remember, we're going to start right here. We'll go. Some harmonics for that chord, then I could go right here to the 12th fret and play those, and it's the same as the G major chord. Pretty cool, right? So there's so many different areas and different options to explore for all the harmonics. And so that's what I want you to get excited about, is because it's so much easier to play a harmonic note. Remember, all you have to do is just touch that string lightly right there, right above the fret. So that's another one right here at, let's add the 5th fret, right here at the 4th fret. Remember, that was the one that we were using when we were playing those chords, the notes to the major chord for that string. So an E major triad, A major, D major. So I'm going to let you find what those notes sound like on the G string that you could play to play a G major triad. Also, there are some other notes on other harmonics and other spots. Are you watching there? I'm giving you clues, and you can see what those harmonics sound like in those places, okay? So this is Mr. Abbie with Star Universe, and this has been a lesson about how to play harmonics on the guitar.